What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. And reserved for the best is super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. Yo, peace, everybody. Sixth element of hip hop. I'm your host, Reno Noir. This is the channel where we talk about comic books being hip hop's sixth element. That's what time it is. What's good, Stu Dog, my co-host over here, and we got Black Heroes Club in the building. Yo, shout out to the chat. Corey Adger in the building. Peace. Much respect. Salute. Corey Slade. Yeah. Stu, you're muted.
No, that was just me going like this.
There we go. Oh, you was doing the Kung Fu.
Yeah.
The Kung Fu movie thing, right?
yeah, I was doing. Nah, peace to Corey Adger.
God damn you.
Peace to everybody in the chat. Yo.
Yes. You want to fight somebody?
What's his name?
Fight me.
What's his name? Michael Winslow? Was it Michael Winslow that
Oh yeah.
You know, he still does that. He was on America's Got Talent and everything. Yeah, he still does all those sounds and all that. Yeah, he's still just as good as he was back then. He said he stopped because he said he was a single dad and he couldn't do the acting and that whole rigorous show.
The whole thing.
Yeah. So he said he just dropped that. Like everybody wanted to know what happened to him. And I was watching him on America's Got Talent and a couple other YouTube videos they put up. But bro, he's still just as good as he was, man. Like I think even better now. Like some of the stuff he do.
Yeah, he should be. You know, he's more seasoned. Yeah, man. Shout out again to Vintage Rush. Shout out to rushxbeyond.com. Check them out, y'all. They got the dopest
Colossus?
And anime shirts. Yeah, this is Colossus right here. Got the metallic print.
If you want a dope anime shirt, nobody in your neighborhood got, you gotta go to Vintage Rush. That's all I gotta tell you. You know what I'm saying? And if you balling and you want a superhero shirt that nobody else has got, you gotta go to Vintage Rush. You know what I'm saying?
Because they're gonna give you the fly shit.
If you serious about your trade, they're gonna give you the fly shit. If you serious about your trade when it comes to superhero shirts, you better go to the link right here, Vintage Rush. Man, you do what you gotta do, however you gotta do it. But I can tell you one thing, you will not be disappointed. And don't worry about the price. Don't worry about that. Because if you got to worry about the price, then obviously you ain't really a fan. Because fans don't worry about the price.
But the price, you know, you get what you pay for. That's all it is. You get what you pay for. You want quality, you're gonna pay for it. So if you like me, listen, some people are hunting for that quality. They're like, yeah, I can go to all the cheap, t-shirt, graphic tee sites I want to, but I'm trying to find some shit on the level of name brand clothing with a graphic tee. That's like unheard of, but this is where you can find that. Name brand clothing status quality with a graphic tee.
And you want a t-shirt you can wash. Matter of fact, you don't even want to pull it in the washer. You want a t-shirt like what Reno got. You want to take that to the cleaners. That's what you want to do. We take my Vintage Rush joint to the cleaners and get it dry.
Always to the cleaners.
That's when you know.
Bro, y'all got money, bro. Take your clothes to the cleaners.
You got to, man. Sometimes
it's gonna cost you like $5. It's only gonna cost you like $5.
It's worth it. If you pay money for your clothes, you want to keep them good.
Yeah.
Hey,
you don't throw your suits in the
can't
washing
afford
machine, do you?
Yeah, on the contrary, it's because I am.
Oh, my suits, yeah. Like I dry clean those, but a shirt, never.
See, you wear suits.
No.
I never wear suits.
See that shirt? I wear suits.
My suit.
That shirt, you would throw that shirt. See, Black Heroes Club, you would throw that shirt, and I would take that shirt to the cleaners. I would. The quality of it. When you just order one, you'll see what we mean. You're gonna be like, yeah.
But moving on to the main topics. Yeah, see, that's fly shit right there. That's suit status. You know, that's grown man shit. That's grown man shit. You don't know nothing about that.
All mine's are tailor made. I give you the number to my tailor. I don't buy off the rack.
Nah, we can't do that. Can't buy off the rack. We don't.
You don't go
I don't
to
buy off the rack.
K&G?
No, I don't buy off the rack. I'm
Wait,
sorry,
whoa, whoa,
sir.
whoa, no. You got to put me on game. Where do you buy your suits?
I get them tailor made. My tailor comes to town, measures me up, takes my measurements.
Man, bro, you
Put
guys
it.
talking about big old money, bro. Like, you guys got money.
That's
All
not
right,
big
good for
old.
you, bro.
No, no, that's not. Listen, he makes my trousers. He makes my shirts,
You say he
everything, my
makes
jackets, all of
trousers.
that.
He comes to the
Yeah,
house.
man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I
Big
don't know if
money. You got a
he ain't come to the
mansion.
house yet.
Yeah.
He ain't come to the house yet. I usually got a meeting, but when he usually does, man, he got my measurements. I give him my measurements. He sends me emails. You need it. You need anything? He might have a sale on pants. 5 pair of pants, maybe $200. Boom.
Yeah,
Woo!
but look, where are they from? Are they silk? Nah, they're not cotton.
You
Uh,
can get whatever material you want.
You get
Whatever material
wool.
you
You
want. You
get
just tell me.
silk.
Yeah, you can get velvet. Nothing touches my body but
What is that
silks. I
velvet?
get
That's
dressed like that.
beautiful.
Yes. That is the beautiful
man,
thing I ever
What is
seen.
that? That's velvet. What is this
man, you
velvet?
got me going
See
through
not
my. This
see
one,
one
this one is
one.
fitted for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's sweet.
But
I got a blue
I
fitted. I
have
got a
this
blue fitted
one.
one too. Yeah, I got a blue fitted one too. And blue is a nice suit to get fitted. I would never get another color fitted but blue.
Well, I got this one, but
Listen,
I can
Is that a
mismatch
tux?
with this one.
Is that a tux?
No,
Is that a
it's
tux?
just a design. It's
Oh,
not a
okay.
tux. It's just a design.
no, not
I
I'm not
did
talking about you, man. I'm talking about Stu.
No, it looks like
I
a
You
did
wild.
no,
have
it
a
look like a tux.
tux. I did have
No,
a
that's
tux,
that
and
crinkle shit.
bro, I
That's
don't
one
know
thing I
what
do got to
happened to
get.
my
I
marriage
don't
tux,
have.
man.
That's
Oh
one thing
yeah,
I
we got
don't
the
have, black
homecoming,
ass
we got the
girlfriends,
prom.
man.
Nah, we
Yeah,
got.
I don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't have a.
Listen,
I don't
guys,
have a. I
we
don't
didn't.
have
We
a.
didn't.
Tux.
You
I'm
see the
sorry,
color on that one?
y'all. Nobody.
Oh, nobody wants to talk suits. My bad, bro. I
Nobody
didn't mean
came to this
it.
show to talk about Stu Dog's Taylor.
Real man stuff, bro. Real man stuff. All right, comic books. Let's go. Comic
All
books.
right, let's go. Kurt Russell as JOR-EL.
What's
Hell,
happening?
Kurt Russell.
He
I mean,
said he'll take on Brando.
I will too. I'll take Marlon Brando, but I want to see what Kurt Russell could do because I like Kurt Russell, man. He might
No,
just like look, just like he
he
said
said
what?
I'll take
Who
on
said this?
Marlon Brando. He said, yeah, I'll take on Marlon Brando. I mean, there was something awesome about the way he was just looking around. I don't care what he was looking at, his lines. He's just crazy great to watch. You know what? We don't
He
know a
is.
lot about JOR-EL. Maybe there's a version. I never heard this, so I don't know. James Gunn was a blast to work with, though, so you never know. End quote.
Man, I don't know, man, because Marlon Brando kind of killed that role.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way his voice, the way he
Of
talked,
course.
and it's like, and the way he
What do you
just
think?
played it, man. He played it. Yeah, he played that role like I don't know. Like that's the only version we ever got live of JOR-EL was him.
Now,
Because
Kurt's not saying that he will solo Marlon Brando. He's not saying I'll slap Marlon Brando. He's just saying I'll take that. I'll do the same role that Marlon Brando did. Because it was a cool role. And honestly,
it
Kurt
is.
Russell has now reached the level of a Marlon Brando. Think about Kurt Russell in the 80s. Like when we were young, like Kurt Russell was not spoken of in the same conversation as Marlon Brando. Okay. Kurt
No,
Russell was
no, he wasn't.
fucking, Goldie Hawn
Kurt Russell.
movies and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Big
Big
Trouble in
Trouble in
Little
Little China.
China.
Woo!
Yeah, yeah.
Classic right
That
there.
was my
That's what made
movie
me a
right there.
super fan
Tango
of
and
Kurt.
Cash. Don't forget
Tango and
Tango and
Cash.
Cash. That was my joint right there,
But
man.
Kurt,
Turner and
but
Hooch. Don't forget Turner and Hooch.
that's Tom Hanks.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I'm
My
sorry.
guy said Turner and Hooch. Nah, but listen. Just whatever's in just fill the cup, Like not even to the brim though. Yeah. So these are some photos of the different Supermen. Obviously, there's your boys, the Lois, Superman, and Lois. The animated new joint. There's Reeves, but these are Jor-Els. Sorry, these are Jor-Els. These are pictures of Jor-El. So that's Jor-El right there. Kurt Russell again. I was gonna say Russell Crowe. So two Russells here. So Russell Crowe to Kurt Russell. Russell Crowe to Kurt Russell. Russell to Russell. I like it.
Yeah.
Russell
And
to Russell.
don't forget his most famous role. Escape from New York. Snake Plissken.
Right. I mean, yeah, but Jor-El is a character that is a mainstay. I mean, it's a staple. It's been in everyone. People overlook it. I think I've always wanted to delve more into it. I like to see more. That's what I loved about Man of Steel. Is we really got to see Kryptonian life and Kryptonian shit going on. We saw some of it in these movies, but it was very limited. This shit gave us
Right.
in
Nah,
depth.
this
Like we
showed
were
us.
seeing,
Yeah. This showed us.
right,
Yeah, this showed him how they got down. Which
technology,
actually shows
war.
Zod. Yeah, shows
Hmm.
Zod on because in the original Superman movie, they told you what Zod did. We just never saw it. This
Hmm.
Man of Steel actually showed you why he got banished to the Phantom Zone and things like which we already knew, but it actually just showed it play out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was cool about it. That's one thing. You're right. That's one thing that was very cool about it.
Well, in this new movie in James Gunn's Superman Legacy, even though Jor-El has been reimagined, several times, as we just showed you, in different Superman movies and TV shows, live action, animated, everything. Superman Legacy has now the opportunity to tackle him from a new angle. And in almost every Superman adaptation, the audience is usually shown when Clark Kent discovers Jor-El for the first time, as they sort of build a relationship from that point, but I think James Gunn has made it clear that Superman Legacy will not be an origin story, with Clark being early into his career as a superhero already. And if Jor-El is actually in Superman Legacy, that would mean that he and Clark will already have a dynamic established of some sort, which could be refreshing, depending on how Gunn does it. It could be good. It could give us parts of Jor-El that we've never gotten before because they're already together. Instead of having to go through that whole fucking origin shit again, we can get into it. And looking at what happened? Oh, looking at the thank you, man. You're the man. Appreciate you, buddy. Yo, that's my main man right there.
Okay.
Woo. Brought me the coffee. Ah, anyway, Jor-El is actually
Bro, you all got money. You got little servants running around delivering you stuff.
That's Reno.
ah,
That's Reno with all that.
my
That's
son,
Reno, man. That's
my
Reno.
son.
He is Reno.
Nah, man,
Oh,
shout out to
okay.
Blaze, man. To my son, man. He
That's
he
Reno.
hooked it up. Nah, he looking out, man.
That's Reno
Um,
with all that money. Reno got a helicopter in his backyard and everything. Man, come on, man. Who does that?
don't do that.
Who
Don't
has
do
a
that
A
because
helicopter?
then
jacuzzi, a jacuzzi, a
Who has a
pool, a
helicopter?
sweat house.
Yeah. That's well. He got it all, baby.
hold on, man.
Also, too, Reno, they didn't show the only thing I didn't like about Man of Steel that I thought they should have did that they didn't do,
There you go.
they didn't show they didn't show Ursa and Nam. They just showed Zod on trial. And that's they still play a bigger role in Zod than we think in the movie.
Mm.
But Ursa O fought Superman 1-on-1. And they should have put Nam in there too. Nam didn't get to fight him either. That's the part I didn't understand.
Wait, in what? What are we talking about
And Man of Steel, remember it's always Zod, right?
now? Uh-huh.
Ursa and Nam. So in the movie, when Zod
Oh,
got
the big
tried,
guy, the big guy
right,
is
the big
now.
guy, right? Because remember in the original one, they tried all three of them, and they was
Yeah,
like Zod, Ursa and
yeah.
Nam. But in this one, they didn't do it. And then when they were on Earth fighting, he only fought. He fought them like it would have been better if he fought them like together, which he did fight Nam, but they didn't tell you it was Nam. It was another Kryptonian, but it should have been Nam. They should have showed his face. They could have got an actor to play it. It had to be nobody big or nobody crazy. Just
The big
you just needed
dude.
the face. Yeah, you just needed the face. So
But that
I
big
don't, I
dude was
don't
in
know.
Man of Steel. What are you talking about? He
Yeah,
fought him.
he was, but how many people knew that was him? Like
Everybody
Reno.
knew that was the big guy from the.
But
First of
that's
all,
my point,
nobody knows
right?
his name. Everybody knows him as the big dude from the Superman movie. Nobody knows his name was Nam or whatever. Only we know that type of shit. But people just know, oh, that's the big guy from the first Superman movie. That's how people put it together, casual fans and shit. Sata, welcome to the show.
Hello.
But yeah, if
I
Jor-El is
bet you. I
actually
bet. Wait, I bet you. Sada didn't know that.
what?
No what?
That doesn't. Could you name all three Krypton? Can you name the other two Kryptonians that accompany Zod to Earth?
Um, it's that lady. I forget
See,
her name.
and that big guy.
You just gave it
Oh my
away. You just
god.
gave it away.
Yeah, I just know the lady. I'm not familiar with the third person. I know it's the lady. I just don't know her. Her name escapes me. And there's someone else, but I don't know. I don't know
Nobody
exactly.
knows them.
But I'm trying to remember in the
See,
movie if they introduced them. I don't think
see,
they introduced who they were.
nobody
No,
knows who they are.
the
Nobody
lady
knows
had a
them.
name. I don't know about the third person.
All right, you know I'm
What
not a
is her name?
Superman fan, but like they show up throughout all the animated series, but they're rarely given a name.
Yeah,
So
it's
what's
just the
their
big
name?
guy.
Yeah. So I
I
guess
don't know
you
what the
have to
big guy
read
is.
comics. Like my point is, like you're right.
Yeah,
You have to read comics in order to know their names.
right. You saw the old movie, right? The old
Uh,
Superman movie. Did you see the old Christopher Reeve Superman movies?
Bits and pieces. I never
Okay, so yeah,
watched
you
them
ain't.
Yeah, wasn't really my cup of tea.
See? Yeah.
The old Superman
People-
movie, son, that was a
Yeah,
masterpiece.
I
Son,
know,
that
but
is a
I didn't grow
masterpiece.
up on those, so like they're not really my cup
They're
of
not
tea.
gonna appeal to younger audiences, bro. A lot of the movies that we find as fucking dope, I see now that younger audiences, they just, even if they're great, well written and all of that, they
Hey,
look different. The way, and everything is HD now, and they never want to put filters on everything. Everything is just super duper HD, and that shit doesn't always look good. Sometimes that shit needs to be filtered or something, man. Because sometimes that everything being super clean and clear, looking like it was shot with a video camera from the 80s, is not the best thing all the time. But I think that does
remember
take
when
away
Morgan
from the
Freeman
nostalgia.
slapped Lois?
What's this
Morgan
question?
Freeman.
Remember when Morgan Freeman slapped Lois when they were walking down the avenue
Oh
or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh God.
It
yeah,
wasn't Superman. It was Clark Kent that he slapped in front of
yeah. Yeah, but so depending on how James Gunn does it, Jor-El and Clark will already know each other, and looking at Smallville as an example, the Tom Welling starring series, they spent a lot of seasons where Clark and Jor-El struggled to find a father-son relationship, and which was complicated by the fact that Jor-El was basically an AI, a Kryptonian AI programmed for the Fortress of Solitude, until they got into a solid point later in the series. But for Superman Legacy, the DC Universe installment could already be set after any struggles between them two, after they've already established that father-son relationship, as Jor-El sort of serves as a guide for Clark's Kryptonian exploration, or, coming to grips with that part of himself. But there's not really been any official reports for Jor-El casting on the movie. But Kurt Russell said in this interview, I think it was it was an interview with Comic Book. He was directly asked if he had any interest in playing Superman's father, Jor-El, in Gunn's Superman Legacy, and basically what he said was, yeah, I'll take Marlon Brando. Or he said, yeah, I'll take on Marlon Brando. I mean, there was something awesome about the way he was just looking around. I don't care what he was looking at. His lines, he's just crazy great to watch. You know what? We don't know a lot about Jor-El. Maybe there's a version. I never heard this, so I don't know. James Gunn was a blast to work with, though, so you never know. End quote. So he wouldn't be the first Guardians of the Galaxy alum to be following Gunn over into this DCU world. But yeah, so you think you could do it, huh, Stu?
Oh, 100%. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
look,
Kurt
listen.
Russell.
When I
Interesting.
first heard that Ben Affleck was gonna be Batman, I was like, I don't know, bruh. And then
Mm.
when he did it, I was like, yo, he was like kind of
same
like one of the best
same.
ones. He was like the best one behind Michael Keaton. Like I liked his Batman.
He did it. He was
This might be the same thing.
a great Bruce
Yeah,
Wayne.
yeah, he was a great. Yeah, this might
I
be
like
the
this
same
Bruce
thing.
Wayne.
We might have a new Jor-El. running around town.
Hot take. I like Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Mm-hmm. I like Ben Affleck's. I think he was a great Bruce Wayne. I think
I love
Batman
Affleck's Wayne.
it could have used a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
do
tweaking,
too.
but
Yeah,
I
I
think
do
he was a
like his
great
Wayne.
Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. But no, Black Heroes Club. You know, I love that movie. I don't know if it's Pattinson, you know, that helped it or was good about it, or if
The
that was what I like.
storyline, like it was a detective
Matt
movie.
Reeves
It was,
Batman was the seven.
yeah,
It was like seven and all of that, and that, you know, I picked that out, and then I heard people really saying that. So that, I guess that is really something that they did go for. Was that, you know, inspired by the movie Seven, because it was like
bro. What they were
a lot
talking
like it.
about. Some people have been making good points. We grew up with this Batman that was a detective, that was a go-getter, that was like, I'm ready to fight. We grew up with that Batman, but we don't care if Batman takes on Superman. We don't care if he takes on the world. We want to see Batman in Gotham doing his
Right,
thing.
right,
That's what we want.
yeah,
Not this like flying across the galaxy trying to save the day. No, put him in Gotham. Let's do some detective work. Dark, gritty, cool.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. And that's one of the things made that movie work so well. Is it really focused on that Gotham detective Batman?
Mm, that's a good question. Because
What?
Batman, you got to understand, Batman, it could either be boring or you can make it good. So like, we like the detective part. It's just don't make it boring. Like have him being a detective. Like in those
Yeah.
other movies with the Nolan Ryan films, uh, he did detective stuff, but he did his Bruce Wayne. And in all the films, that's when he did it. He never did his Batman really. You wouldn't see him, you know, searching for clues, pulling out his gadgets, collecting evidence. He always did it as Bruce Wayne, and then he would turn into Batman and go fight crime. It's
Mm,
actually the other way around in the comics. He collects all his evidence and does all his detective work as Batman because Bruce Wayne is a millionaire playboy. Why would he be collecting evidence? Why would he be,
right.
trying to figure out a
Well,
case?
wait a second, because I have some of his older comics. In his older comics, he still does play detective work as Bruce. Like, there's like scenes where he's like, you'll catch on to the detective puzzle. Like, oh, that's Commissioner or Mayor District Attorney Harvey. I saw him with old girl last night. And then that makes Batman say, or Bruce, that makes Bruce say, oh, wait a second. I remember seeing you walking down the alley. You see what I'm saying? So Bruce
Mm,
is also part of that detective world.
hmm.
I
That's a
understand.
little different though. That's just him, knowing like as Batman, he knows more than people think he knows. So like if he's in a room full of people and he knows one of them is crooked, he knows it. He can't say anything or how he knows it because then they're gonna be like, well, how do you know? He just
Yeah.
knows it. But and like in the Batman, how he was at the crime scene, he figured out the riddles, he collected evidence, he saw stuff the cops didn't see, and figured that's the Batman that we're talking about. Him being Bruce Wayne, yeah, of course he's going, here figure out something here and there because it might be something that comes to him as Bruce Wayne that didn't come to him as Batman. But at the
Yeah.
same time, as
That point.
Batman,
Yeah,
oh,
that
he
point.
getting down and dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Batman, he
Yeah.
getting down and dirty.
But he
He
could
getting down and
definitely
dirty.
he definitely come across shit as both. But also as far as we talking about, you know, Superman Legacy castings, we do have confirmation on the character Maxwell Lord, who is going to be played by James Gunn's brother Sean Gunn, who was
Yeah.
uh set to also reprise his role as Weasel from the Suicide Squad in Creature Commandos. So he'll be playing Weasel in Creature Commandos, and the report from Deadline mentions that Maxwell Lord will be mentioned in Superman Legacy, but it's currently unclear whether the character will actually appear in the film. But Lord's role in Legacy, whether that's a name drop or actual appearance, will be small and serve as a springboard for bigger roles in DCU projects. But you know, Gunn, you know, said something on Twitter about with the casting of his brother as Maxwell Lord. It sounds like, we know what superhero team Gunn is introducing in Legacy. Obviously, the Terrifics and the Justice League were distinct possibilities, but now it seems that Gunn is setting up the JLI, uh,
Yeah,
Justice League International.
Because Maxwell Lord in the comic books, Maxwell Lord was one of the influential people that helped start the Justice League International. Um, and then later became adversary of Wonder Woman. That's why he was in Wonder Woman 1984. But I don't know, like I said, James Gunn, we'll see how he uses them.
Yeah, I mean,
I-
it may become his version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. We've got more of and then there's also Guardians cast making their way over to the DCU recently. Dave Bautista heavily hinted that he was at the very least having discussions with Gunn about portraying a character in the universe. But yeah, so it's a few characters that may be coming from Guardians over with Gunn.
I'm not a fan of that casting. I don't like that. Like visually and just in all, it just doesn't make sense to me at all. But that's nepotism, so it's like, what can you really do?
Oh,
Like,
that casting, yeah, Maxwell Lord. Well, I mean,
that's Maxwell Lord. I don't like that casting. I've been agreeing.
You don't like it just because it's nepotism?
No,
because Gunn is a good actor.
That's a small reason.
Maxwell Lord is like
visually, he doesn't give intimidation. He doesn't give Max Lord. I don't see it. And so yeah.
No?
I don't know. I think it did. Do you see? Can you guys see the picture on the screen? I don't know if it's showing up.
Yeah, I got it.
He's like wearing like a yeah. That's Maxwell Lord.
But he's also telepathic. He's also like like the Emperor. He has telepathic persuasion. That's his power. Like when he's talking to you, he's actually persuading you, just like the Emperor.
That's him there with the tie. I mean, he's the skinny white dude. I mean, any skinny white dude could play him, I think.
Nah, I don't see I can't see him as Maxwell Lord. No, I don't see it.
Squint. Squint.
No,
not even a little bit.
Not even a squint.
Who would you? Sada, who would you want to play Maxwell? Like if you had a choice.
Sure.
Like they called you tomorrow. Said Sada, you get to pick.
Sada just don't want James Gunn with these.
I just don't think Sean Gunn is a good choice. But I'm have to think on who would be a better fit. Because I don't think Pedro Pascal was like the best fit for Maxwell Lord when they had him in '84. But that whole movie was filled with problems. So but I'm not sure who would be a better choice. I don't see it for Sean Gunn.
Somebody that knows how to write dirt and grit, like dark. Yes. Right. Okay. Go throw this away, baby. Somebody that knows how to write dark, like that knows how to write these DC characters the way that they're supposed to be written.
Oh, well, this says interesting news, but our Max was never a villain. I hope James Gunn goes with the Giffen DeMatteis McGuire version. Sean Gunn to play villain Maxwell Lord. So yeah, I guess Maxwell has not always been a villain. So he's a nuanced character, probably with all kinds of facets to his personality and different.
He wasn't always a villain. He became one later on of the Justice League and Wonder Woman. So
I don't know. I think they're doing very well so far at their actors looking like the characters, at least compared to what Marvel has been doing. But beyond that, I mean, beyond the look, I mean, I guess we'll have to see, what happens. I mean, for example, you've got some of the actors, like, remember my biggest thing about the guy that's playing Mr. Terrific is he was like a scrawny little dude. Apparently he's getting jacked up for the role. He's looking like corn sweat out here. Check this dude out. He's gotten huge. So people are defying what we thought they could do as actors in some of these roles. There he is. So he's not the skinny little dude that he was in X-Men. That it doesn't that body don't even look like it fit his head, but that's. I mean, again, I wasn't happy with this casting, but now I'm seeing, maybe he could pull it off.
Do you guys think that that's why a lot of people don't want to act as these superheroes? Because it's a lot of work to keep your body under that rigor mortis of shape, man. Like now, I like after seeing this, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to do that for the rest of my life. You know, I wouldn't want to look like Hugh Jackman for the rest of my life. You know, if I want to gain some weight or lose it, I can't. I'm Wolverine. You know.
Yeah. Well, he said that. He said as much for this movie for Deadpool. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that again." He was like, "I'll play the shit, but I'm not doing the super." Like he's like, "I'm too old for that," because like literally, they go months with just eating nothing but dry like boiled broccoli and chicken breast. It's like, which
waking up at 5 a.m, running 3 miles, you know, not being able to drink certain sodas or you can't do any of that. Like drinking
water, bro, water, broccoli, and chicken. Period.
It just dawned on me. Maybe that's why nobody wants to be in these superhero movies. It's too much work for them.
Well, the ones that do want to be in it, they're the ones that are definitely the bodybuilder types. The ones that don't want to be in it, they're not playing.
I think we should give the bodybuilders a chance, like on the slick, like real talk. I believe we should give those football players and what's his name, Jamal White? Like he did it.
Who?
I forgot his name. In the Joker, the gangster that Heath Ledger ends up killing. Michael Jai White? Yeah.
I played Spawn back in the day. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did play Spawn. I would like to see him reprise the role, or not Spawn, but like some other superhero.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see him back doing something. He could do a lot of things. I was watching yesterday. Sada was Luke Cage and Mahershala Ali as Cottonmouth, and I did not know that side of Mahershala Ali. At least I never saw him like that. So it's a whole.
He was great as Cottonmouth. Yeah.
So, but now I can kind of see him as Blade watching that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I can see him doing
in Blade. I think they did his character a disservice in the second season, but like he did great with what he had. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think they should have went with the lore with the lore of Cottonmouth before they
and Luke Cage.
Yeah, I like the fact that they did Cottonmouth, and I like the fact of the person they got to play it, Cottonmouth. I just didn't like the way he was portrayed.
No, I thought Sada said that she didn't see Mahershala as Blade, or she didn't like him as Blade.
No, I like him as Blade. I think it was somebody else during that.
That was Bloodshed, maybe.
Yeah, I think because people were saying like, maybe Wesley Snipes could come back, which
right.
I mean, that would be fine.
Oh, she said Wesley.
I'm okay with new blood as far as Blade.
Me too.
Me too, Sada. Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see older people who won't be able to give me that old school Blade. Like to do a cameo is one thing, but to be the actor again, like I love you, but it's time to give it to somebody that's going to be able to do the flips and the tricks and the sword fighting. I need
and
to
the
see
working out. And the starving yourself for months and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because Cottonmouth, like they had Cottonmouth, he's almost equal to Cage. He has superhuman strength and he has durability. I just wish they would have entertained that more.
Yeah, but isn't Cottonmouth Bushmaster?
Yeah.
I gotta see if I had that comic. I actually think I have the one of Bushmaster's first appearance, I want to say.
All right. What's the last thing y'all heard? All right, never mind. No, but yeah, Superman Legacy, the cast members, you had Edie Gathegi. I don't know how you say his name. I guess it's Eddie Gathegi. I don't know. And Maria Gabriela De Feria. are already looking super ripped and bulked up for their roles. As Mr. Terrific and Angela Spica, aka the Engineer, who is actually going to be the villain of the movie from The Authority in James Gunn's DCU flick. And even though for those who aren't playing Superman, this physique is essential, to selling any superhero role. Apparently, you can't even be any superhero. You got to be ripped regardless. But yeah, in November, the personal trainer to the stars, Paolo Machete, shared an Instagram photo of the actor in the lead actor David Cornsweet in the gym, showing off his new physique for the Superman joint. And the comments were posted how much he resembled Henry Cavill now. But now he's not the only one.
You guys, I gotta hop down, but thank you so much for having me. I gotta take care of the kids, bro.
Yo, thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah,
be easy, be safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Gathegi. He's the one playing Mr. Terrific, and this is the villain, the main villain of Superman Legacy right here. That's from The Authority. She is the main villain and lead.
Jacked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says while actors seem to be doing their due diligence in the gym to look the part, little is known about the upcoming DC film. Gunn and DC Studios' new CEO has said the film is not an origin story, but will instead revolve around Superman's attempt to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his childhood as the boy in Kansas, Clark Kent. This new Superman film is part of Gunn's plan to inject Marvel magic into the failing production company. Now, who's the failing production company, Marvel? Following recent box office flops like Blue Beetle and Shazam, The Marvels, Fury of the Gods, Superman Legacy may prove whether the DCU plan will succeed in saving the studio. Its box office performance may even indicate the genre's future at large. So basically, yeah, they're saying basically this not only hinges on DC's future, but the superhero genre, the success of this. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's it's not really dramatic, but kind of dramatic. But I mean, they're not
wrong. Valid. Yeah.
If this film is not successful, then I don't think DC has a chance. They have no legs to stand on. I don't like how they phrased it as them saying that this was Gunn's like thing to inject Marvel magic, because that's the whole issue with DC in the first place. Like, you keep trying to bring these people over from Marvel or be like Marvel, and it fails. So just like stop. And that's part of why I'm like, okay, James Gunn, whatever. But we'll see what happens. I just don't like how that was phrased, even though that's how it's come off to me. So it's like, hopefully that's not the case. It's just James Gunn with his impression of Superman, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
Well, you're not you're not alone, definitely, because then they followed up by saying, given that even Marvel has been struggling lately due to box office bombs like the Marvels, Gunn's plan to connect the DCU movies like Marvel did with the MCU may be too little too late, as superhero fatigue seems to be in full swing. Only time will tell whether Superman Legacy and DC's slump era will end DC's slump era, but for now, all we can be sure of is that the actors are working hard in the gym to embody their beloved comic book characters. And that's important, though. That says a lot. What I mean by is them trying to embody the beloved comic book character. Let's highlight that. To embody their beloved comic book characters, and that's what Marvel's biggest flaw is. They do not try to embody the beloved comic book character. If you look at the casting in this movie, it's like actor looks just like fucking character, actor like character, very similar, at least as close as you can get. They're trying to match actor to character, which Marvel actively tries to not match actor to character. They try to make it different completely. They want it, let's change the race, let's change the gender, let's change them completely, and it's not even that character anymore at that point. But that again may also be too little, too late. It may not be enough, but it's something that I can respect. At least I'm happy they're doing that. That's something. It ain't much, but it's something. But yeah, the the comics also have some cool shit going on, and the animated stuff in DC. But as far as like some cool shit going on right now in DC, I think the most underrated Green Lantern of all time just returned with perfect godlike redesign that really sort of I think embodies the character. Green Lantern in question, that I'm talking about is Kyle Rayner, of course. Best remembered for playing Hal Jordan's Earth's primary Green Lantern after the Emerald Twilight arc. But after ascending to the most powerful White Lantern, his role in DC has greatly diminished and made him basically very underrated. They kind of left him like, what's going on with him? He like reached the pinnacle of power, but then they forgot about him. But Kyle, sort of easing his way back into the forefront right now in the DC universe in this new Green Lantern War Journal. It's at issue 3 right now. Issue 3, in making its return. Kyle's comeback also gives him this new redesign that not only asserts him as a godlike being, but one that brings his whole journey full circle. If you've been following Kyle Rayner, but check this out. But yeah, it's a dope design, man.
Always like when they do Kyle Rayner because they make his suit a lot different from the other lanterns. But he's an artist too, so I guess they do it to reflect the fact that he's an artist.
Right.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Kyle Rayner was dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got the whole cape thing going on now, and the whole lantern. It looks more like a almost like a monk suit with a cape with like a dope design on the side. And he's talking there to John Stewart. But this version of Kyle dressed in all green, with the green blindfold covering his eyes completely. It's super cool. The cape reminiscent of the original Green Lantern, Alan Scott. And he's basically saying, I'm not the Rayner but believe me, we've been through a lot together, which seems to suggest that, like Lantern Shepherd, this Kyle Rayner may be from a different universe. But in this issue, War Journal number 3, John's battle with Varen corrupts his powers, and now he's on the verge of becoming one of the Radiant Dead, which is like a twisted undead version of the Green Lantern Corps. And as he's slowly dying, he starts hearing an ominous voice in his head that he can only describe to himself as a familiar voice. Let me see that. Given the familiarity of the lettering style for his voice. Let me see it. Let me see it. Give me the plate. Come on. Man, he just hooked up some shit, bro. He got the white rice with the stir fry on top with the broccoli. This shit looks amazing. I was trying to show him off, but he's a crazy chef. But crazy chef. But yeah, this multiversal version of Kyle Rayner was previously seen in Dark Crisis: Worlds Without a Justice League, Green Lantern number 1. Where he was the leader of Sector John Stewart. And this godlike blindfolded look brings his sort of journey full circle in a way that accounts for the necessity of his eyesight as an artist. A lot remains to be seen, and understood about this version, of Kyle. But regardless if this is the same Kyle Rayner that we're familiar with or not, it's a dope. It's hard to ignore the tragedy of his apparent blindness. If the blindfold is anything to go by. But Kyle's always been someone whose strengths did not lie in his visuals, but not just as a Green Lantern, but as an artist at heart. In any universe, an artist losing eyesight, that they need to express themselves is kind of like, it's like crippling somebody, with, I mean, obviously blindness is crippling somebody, but for, for this Kyle Rayner, he repurposed his tragedy to become an all powerful, like blind monk prophet type dude. And someone who for years, again, I think is the most underrated Green Lantern. But this Kyle Rayner has rebranded himself to be one of the most powerful Green Lanterns in DC right now. So that's what's happening right now in DC, and some things going on in the comics. In video games, we got some news. We got news about the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, release dates, characters, gameplay. You've been following this one, Stu?
Oh yes, sir.
They have a release date because that thing has been in delay. How since like
they actually had a release date of early this year, and then
got
I don't
delayed.
know the way it got delayed because everybody complained the way the game played. Nobody liked it.
Yeah, it was initially supposed to be released in 2022. Yeah. But then delayed to this May.
They didn't like all the stuff they put behind paywalls. They didn't like none of that. People was like, no, we're not doing it. And we don't want another. And people, the one main thing they said, we don't want another team-based shooter. Like we don't like. If I want to play it by myself, I want to be able to play by myself. I want to be able to choose any character I want. Yeah. They wanted it more like Grand Theft Auto, and they wanted it to be less campy, less. It just they just didn't like it. People were like, look, you got to make this better. From what we're seeing and what we played, we don't want that. And so they had to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and that's what they've been doing. That's why they and I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they put it off because what they had was trash. And hopefully what they give us now might be a little better. But yeah, the original announcement, was initially supposed to come out sometime in 2022, then got delayed to May of this year, and then after the first gameplay preview at Sony's February 2023 State of Play, they again delayed it to February 2024, and now February 2nd is where we're at now. So fingers crossed. But that's exactly, fingers crossed. But there's some cool photos.
Something else there was another thing people hated too. They didn't like the costumes. They were like, yo, like why the classic costumes locked behind
it was ass.
And then they had these funky futuristic nobody liked. Like the weapons, like you could do all this stuff to customize the weapons. Nobody wanted that. Everybody was like, we don't want that. I don't want to be grinding for this stuff. And then I don't want to pay for it either. So like you gotta do something. Like you gotta let us be able to earn it. The leveling system, nobody liked. And that was another way you can get weapons and colors. People was like, we don't give a damn about if you can make it all pink. We just want it to look good, and it doesn't. And it just doesn't. So
they're trying to avoid another Avengers, and that's good because that was. And
don't forget Gotham Knights. They're trying to avoid that because Gotham Knights got a lukewarm reception, and I mean lukewarm.
Oh, please. Like the price is interesting. I'm glad they're working to revise things because, yikes. Most times they just release it as is and then patch it while the game's already out. So,
right?
Yeah, they have to. They got to do something.
More of the game's story from different members of Kill the Justice League. Over the next few months, we'll be unpacking the game, answering your questions, and sharing a few surprises as we move closer to our launch on February 2nd.
Yeah, so February 2nd, their launch, but it looks not bad. I'm not mad at how it looks now. Looks good now.
Looks way better. It should play better too, because a lot of people are complaining about the gameplay because they actually had a working demo. And people was like, no. They're like, no, we ain't doing this.
We're not here for it.
Right.
No way.
They just said it. They just said they didn't like the way you could try the way you moved around the environment. They didn't like. It was just a lot. So take your time, make a better game. You get a better response.
But yeah, check this out on ScreenRant.com. This is their YouTube video. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Yeah, you can check it out on their YouTube channel. But yeah, we're just skimming through it here. So chill out, YouTube. We're artistic. We're artistically altering it.
Skimming. Yeah, we just skimming. Yeah, we ain't
But yeah,
It'll trap you up.
it looks good though. It does look cool. Looks like a lot of fun. Looks like you could be a couple of different characters maybe at a time. Maybe it's multiplayer. I'm not sure. But you know, Rocksteady just dropped what they just dropped. Spider-Man.
Yep.
2, and that was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Didn't win Game of the Year. Didn't win shit.
Yeah, that was crazy. I saw that. Like, what?
Wow. I was
like 7 awards.
I was blown away. I thought for sure it was a candidate, at least to win something. But Baldur's Gate, everyone was like, "What the fuck is Baldur's Gate?" I'm addicted to Baldur's Gate. I play the fuck out of Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, that game is phenomenal.
You're the reason why it won.
And I don't vote. I didn't vote, but it's good.
Good. Baldur's Gate is good.
Very good.
It's addictive. I can't lie and say it. So
I'll be playing it as soon as this show's over. Type shit. Yeah, I'm on that shit right now. I've been playing the fuck out of it. And it won every award. It won like 6 awards. I was again though, even as much as I play it and love it, I do not think it should have won all those awards. No, I was blown away. You got Tears of the Kingdom. You've got, which admittedly apparently disappointed fans, but we can talk about that. That's a whole thing.
Don't forget Lies of P.
Yeah, but what's the big ones? It was Tears of the Kingdom. Obviously, Baldur's, Spider-Man.
Won awards?
Yeah, the ones that were like the top contenders for Game of the Year. The ones that were nominated for Game of the Year. Like 5.
Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Resident Evil 4, and then Marvel Spider-Man 2. It looks like those are the nominees for Best Game.
Those are nominees, yeah, they are. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of that, yeah, I guess it would be Baldur's, Tears of the Kingdom, or Spider-Man for me. And Tears of the Kingdom didn't win. I guess people were disappointed. It did not fix all the bad shit that people hated about Breath of the Wild. They like basically doubled down on it for Tears of the Kingdom. It was not what people. Yeah, leave it to Nintendo to not listen to fans at all. But they hopefully the next Zelda game will be completely different. Well, it'll still be open world, but
it wasn't a mention. It just didn't win. Baldur's Gate won it. Man.
Yeah. Listen, for me, the way Tears of the Kingdom is, I don't understand being disappointed because it's exactly what I expected. I get being disappointed that they didn't change it. Rather, I get being disappointed. I just don't get being surprised. Like, I knew this is what the game was going to be like, and people that are disappointed, they're understandably disappointed. But why they're surprised, I don't know.
It did win Best Action Adventure Game, so I mean they can win on that.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah, it won that. Yeah.
Well, at least it won that. Which I don't know how it beat Baldur's on that, but I guess Baldur's is an action adventure though.
Yeah, let me see. I'm looking at the
Baldur's
Gate is that's an RPG. It's more than RPG.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the nominees.
Yeah, it's not action. Baldur's Gate, it's very you can play Baldur's Gate like this. With one hand on the mouse, you can just sit back and play that bitch. Like this. It's basically you're just following, you're making choices. You're just making choices with the mouse. Even when it comes to the combat, you're making choices. What are you going to choose to do next? It's turn-based combat, so there's not a lot of you don't have to be up here like this with the controller. You don't have to be focused. None of that. You can put the mouse down and walk out of the room, and nothing happens till you come back and do some shit. So it's a different kind of game, but if you like that kind of shit, which I love that kind of stuff. I love RPGs. I love, that kind of thought-based game. where you have to think to play it, not just it's not all about hand dexterity,
Right.
Because I get old and my hand dexterity ain't the best anymore, right? That hand-eye coordination ain't quite what it used to be. But no, it's a great game. I'm just surprised it won over. I'm not surprised it won because I don't think it deserved to. I'm surprised it won because it's not that popular. You saw the reaction. Most people are like, "What? What game is that?" They never even heard of it. Most people never heard it. Most people, I assumed if this was a popularity based voting, then it would have been Spider-Man or Tears of the Kingdom. If it was a popularity based judging. But I think it's like on the website, it says like it's 90% the judges and 10% our votes. So our votes only count for like 10% of the decision. So it's like we really do it just for fun, like okay, yeah, you can vote, but really they're deciding. And so it's not
as it should be.
One best multiplayer.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that either. I'm not mad at that too. Because professionals, they know what they're looking for. Most people, everybody votes for like 2K. Like 2K just wins every year, or Madden, right?
We can't have that.
Can't have it.
It's the same game repackaged. We can't have them winning awards. No.
But it's the most popular shit out there, and everybody will vote for it. So yeah, I get them. I get that ratio makes sense.
Ooh, they won best multiplayer.
And they play it every year. Like it's the same game every year. Not saying it ain't great enough, but it's the same. They buy it every year. They play it every year. They get it. They
pay the DLC every year.
You're right.
So
Yeah. Sada's right. They buy the DLC every year. They get it, man. Listen, they get it.
My man.
No game.
Word is fun. Shout out to Artrell.
Yes.
Yeah, I would. I think they need to just start with an animated film. I would love that. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me see if you guys can see that. Do you guys see the thing? All right, there it is. So yeah, this is funny. 10 reasons, or what does it say? 10 lessons the DCU can learn from DC's biggest movie mistakes.
Okay.
And they're going back. They're going back. They're going all the way back. Number 10. Yeah, the Green Lantern movie showcases what not to do with lanterns. Let's see what they said. 2011's Green Lantern was meant to be the start of massive film-based DC universe, but the movie was critical commercial fit. Come on, blah blah blah. We know what it is. Blah blah blah. What's wrong with the movie? Their appeal had been the characters. 2011's Green Lantern did not properly intertwine the characters and the lore, meaning the lore was underused, and worse still, the characters were not well developed.
Yeah, how about those CGI suits? But all of the rest of that, yeah, that was clear as day.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Batman and Robin's tone changed, totally sabotaged the first Batman movie franchise.
100%.
Oh.
Yeah, but wasn't Val Kilmer before this?
Mm-hmm. That was kind of a shift, but it wasn't too this one took it a step farther. Like Val Kilmer's was like, it was like teetering, it was kind of like, but it was still a little bit dark, you could argue. This was just like out of here. Like it was just no.
Yeah. Plus, like Robin came back, but Val Kilmer didn't come. And it was just a lot. They're right.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for Armor, the movie would have been a total flop.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, because Robin was in the Val Kilmer one. This same Robin.
Mm-hmm. It's the same actor, same Robin, and they just said we're gonna just keep it. Like what?
Wow.
Okay.
Well, it says ever since the overwhelming success of '89's Batman, Warner Brothers has tried to replicate its broad appeal and its gargantuan marketing campaign. The goal was taken a bit too far, however, in 1997's Batman and Robin, providing a prime example for the DCU regarding both commercialization and how careful tonal shifts need to be. While the vitriol directed at the film is certainly excessive, the movie was a huge contrast to what came before it and almost inevitably alienated those who loved what came prior, with director Joel Schumacher allegedly deeming the film a cartoon before each take, and Christopher O'Donnell noting in an interview that the film felt like a toy commercial. While Batman and Robin's director actors were more than capable of making an authentic Batman film, the movie massively changed the tone of the franchise, seeming in part to focus on marketability and merchandise, which ended WB's original Batman film franchise. Wow. That's sad. Yep, learn from that. Catwoman's infamous reputation says a lot about what audiences want from superhero movies. What do you guys think about this movie?
The movie? Oh, that was a joke.
It
It's a fun watch if you want to get a little drunk, or you just want to watch like a so bad it's good movie. I think it's great for that.
Right.
But, like, anything else, nah.
Because I can't decide. Like, it had some appeal. Like, there was some cool stuff.
I just think it was just like, I don't know. I don't know.
For the most part, though, it was garbage. But yeah, there was some cool shit.
Tried to do their own thing as far as like who had, I guess, the mantle of Catwoman.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with the cats and the Egyptian, the lore and all that, I found that actually cool, that we'd never seen that. If you're going to do a Catwoman movie, because if you're going to do a whole movie about Catwoman, it can't just all be about her robbing jewelry stores. We need some lore. It went a little bit hokey, but it was cool to learn some stuff, to give some reason. But again, that's them trying to make Catwoman into this supernatural character, which I never thought of her as. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was just so much going on with this movie.
Even in the second Batman movie, she's an undead character. Like, she comes back to life.
Yeah,
she's undead.
Yeah,
but I don't know that
on her like in this movie, but like, yeah.
Well, they said 2004's Catwoman is popularly considered one of the worst films in the superhero genre, failing both critically and commercially. The film has an infamously weak plot and silted characters and is not even faithful to the comic source material, though it does vaguely suggest a connection to Batman Returns in the undead aspect with the cats, I guess.
Oh, no. Actually, in the aspect of Michelle Pfeiffer herself, they're in the scene where they did the lore. In the book, you could briefly see a picture of Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, implying that they are connected. I think that's what they're referring to. But yeah, it's a more direct connection than the undead aspect.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and for a character as complex and multifaceted as Catwoman, the film is a disappointing waste of Halle Berry's talents. But it does prove that an award-winning lead actress and familiar intellectual property need to be matched by proper narrative and character development, which is a valuable lesson for franchises like DCU.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose they had that in the DCEU, and still, so maybe they'll learn it again.
Yeah. This movie was, I did not dig it. Superman Returns proved that a Superman movie needs action and creativity.
That's true.
It seemed very basic and stale.
Because they were trying to make it a direct sequel to Superman 2 was what it was. But the pace of Superman 2 was slower, but it was still an action movie. And the narrative in the movie was still exciting to watch. Watching Superman react, talk and react with Lois. That was still fun to watch. This just wasn't. It just went over a lot of stuff that we already knew. So like you said, we need action and more creative. It could have been more creative with it.
It was like an alternate universe, because it says 2006's Superman Returns attempted to renew the original Superman movie franchise, like you said, serving as an alternate sequel to 1980's Superman 2. The film goes to great lengths to replicate the look and feel of the Christopher Reeves movies, but this ended up being a double-edged sword. Returns' emulation of the classic Superman films was successful, but it also prevented it from being the intellectual property to the new territory on film. Moreover, a common criticism of Superman Returns is its slow pace and lack of action.
Yes, and that's which Superman 2 didn't have. Superman 2 had lots of action, and it was a slow pace.
And it says the Superman comics are defined by not only their strong symbolism and political messages, but also their exciting action sequences, with both hopefully being focal elements of the impending Superman Legacy movie, which I think that's what Gunn is trying to go for, more of a comic action-y type joint. Justice League highlights the importance of not rushing a shared universe. This highlights the importance of not doing a lot of shit. Yeah. After the genre redefining success of 2012's The Avengers and divisive reception to the DC. Yeah. A lot of shit you shouldn't do. The divisive reception to the DCEU's first installment, Man of Steel's DC fledgling shared universe moved quickly to adapt their most famous superhero team, with the Justice League being the DCU's fifth movie. Unfortunately, this prevented the DCU from making another Superman solo film and introducing Ben Affleck's Batman in a dedicated Batman outing. To make matters worse, Zack Snyder left the production of Justice League due to a family tragedy. Warner Brothers hired Joss Whedon of the Avengers fame to complete the film, resulting in a disjointed and disappointing theatrical cut. Had the DC taken a slower approach, it might have avoided this soft reboot into the DCU. A detail those involved in crafting the DCU have seemingly noted. Given the current DCU Chapter 1 slate appears more focused on establishing DC heroes and the world they inhabit.
I mean, do you know how incompetent you have to be as like a studio to really mess up the Justice League to this magnitude? Like, they are more popular than the Avengers, I would argue. And it's like,
oh yeah,
how do you like really mess that up? And you know, you messed up Superman in the process. You couldn't do really anything with Ben Affleck's Batman. So it's just like, there's just so much. Like, that should teach them or WB to not meddle in the filming process for your films. So yeah, that's what that should be.
And this key sentence right here: Zack Snyder left the production of Justice League due to a family tragedy. Warner Brothers hired Joss Whedon of Avengers fame to complete the film. Right there, you lost. Batman: The Killing Joke shows the danger of changing the source material without reason. Hello.
That was not the best animated film.
Come on, that one.
No, Stu.
The DCU is sure to adapt a significant portion of DC's comics, so its approach to regarding these stories is set to be a key factor in how successful it proves to the franchise. Although adhering to the comic adaptation source material is often more than not a beneficial quality, plenty of successful and beloved superhero films make major changes to the comics. It's true. 1988's Batman: The Killing Joke has inspired several Batman adaptations, including 1989's Batman, and the graphic novel received a direct adaptation in the 2016 animated film of the same name. 2016's Killing Joke movie is a serviceable recreation of the graphic novel, whose strength lies largely in the performances of Mark Hamill and the late Kevin Conroy as Joker and Batman, respectively. Yet the film's opening adds unnecessary and highly controversial plot points that contributed to the animated movie's poor reception.
Yeah, and they only did that so it would be like feature length, and it's like, you could have just made it a short film. I don't think anyone would have had a problem with that. Just because the Killing Joke comment is quite short. So it just, I don't know why that was whoever was in charge of that to add that 30 minutes before the actual film. Gross. Nah.
Yeah.
Because I think that they could have done that with more comic source material. They could have gotten, So no excuses.
But that's my only gripe with the movie. I actually like it, but that's my only gripe with it. Is that I thought they could have made it more comic book accurate and did a lot more.
Yeah, I mean they make decisions. I mean we all know Hush is my favorite comic, but they butchered the story for the movie, which I guess their excuse was that they didn't want it. The whole thing about the comic is finding out who Hush is at the end is a big reveal, and they thought making the movie be the same as the comic, you lose that, which.
You really don't.
No, and again, listen, that's what adaptations are. They're adaptations. It's okay. We get it. You can adapt it. Listen, how many movies that are adapted off novels, they don't change the fucking ending, and the movies are huge hits. So you don't have to do that. Everyone didn't read the damn comic book. Okay.
And it's like
No.
they even in the film they set it up to possibly be Thomas Elliot, and then you like do a whiplash towards the end of the movie, and it's like, oh no, it was Riddler the whole time. So if you didn't even want it to be him in the first place, then don't hint at it from the beginning. Like that's weird.
Agreed. Yep. They should learn from that. Batman Forever shows that a younger Robin is better. Well, yeah, we'll definitely get a younger Robin on this next DC outing because we got Batman Brave and Bold with Damian Wayne, which is definitely a younger Robin. They said while Tim Burton's Batman movies were interesting in including Batman's iconic sidekick, Robin, Joel Schumacher brought the boy wonder to the big screen in 1995's Batman Forever. This provides some helpful details regarding the character for the DCU to learn from, as the Robin mantle has largely been avoided in live-action adaptations. Well, yeah, I mean, since that bullshit, they didn't want to fuck with it again.
The only other one was from Titans, and even then, he went straight to Nightwing by like the end of, I think, the first season.
They had a hard time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had a hard time doing it from the beginning. Remember in Batman Returns, Robin was supposed to be in that, and they had a hard time. They just the problem is they try to change it. Stop changing it. Make Robin who he is. They wanted to make Marlon Wayans was supposed to be Robin.
Yeah,
like that's not gonna work. Just make it and make it good. Listen. The stories are written. The characters are written. The comics. Just do that. Do that. You got one job to do. Just do that, and you can be good.
Unlike his predecessor, it says, unlike his predecessor, Schumacher was knowledgeable about the Batman comics. So now here's the big thing. Tim Burton was not the biggest like Batman comic fan. He didn't know shit about Batman. He still made an amazing movie. Schumacher was more knowledgeable about Batman, and in my opinion, I didn't like any of his movies. I don't like this movie. I don't like anything after the second Batman. I don't like this shit. I don't like this one. I don't like the other one. I don't like them at all. And any of the Schumacher verse, I don't like it. But he was the one that was more knowledgeable about Batman comics. That's true. So, when I say, when the source, when the creator, is a big fan of the source material, doesn't always, make it, a guaranteed win in my eyes. But it says that the Batman comics, he was knowledgeable about Batman comics and recognized that Robin is one of the most crucial supporting characters in the mythos. Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson were both well-realized characters in Forever, but the film makes the mistake of portraying Robin as a young adult rather than a teenager. A young adult Robin prevents Forever from having the found family dynamic that the two have in the comics, which would have been far better in the film. So what they're saying is, Robin was like a son, Batman was like a father figure to Robin, and it's hard to do that when this kid's like in his early 20s.
It was clear he should have just been Nightwing. You could still do the same family bonding aspect, just now he's in a different point in his life as Nightwing. He's moved on from Robin, but I guess they didn't want to tackle that at all because like this man's pushing like 25 and he's wearing the Robin suit. It just doesn't even make sense.
Which he claims he can still fit to this day.
Oh,
is that right?
For keeping in shape that. Shoot.
Says he has the suit and he can still fit it. That's the word on the street. That's what came. The words came out of his mouth on Twitter.
Oh snap!
That's
I don't know how he was able to keep that suit, but good on him because you can't take that stuff a lot of the time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know how he got it out of there either, but he did it. He says, "I have the suit and I can still fit it." Hoorah. So do you, my man?
All right.
I'm glad LL must got you in the gym.
The number 3 is Superman 3 proves that levity can be taken too far. Thor: Love and Thunder. The Marvels. Definitely can be taken. They didn't learn that lesson, guys.
Reno, I don't even want to talk about Superman 3.
They didn't learn that.
It's a disaster. Whatever they wrote is good. I'm good with it. They're right.
Shout out to Pryor.
It was that bad. And I like Richard Pryor and I like Christopher.
Love Richard Pryor. But
and
man, that was
supposed to be. It was actually supposed to be a different. It was actually supposed to be a Supergirl movie, and then they changed it in the middle.
Yeah. Because isn't she's in it, right?
Behind that film, right?
No, she's not in it at all.
This is the one she's in. Oh, she's in 4.
She's in 4. She's not in. No, she ain't even in 4. They wrote her own movie. They did her own movie.
She
just did her own movie. Yeah.
But no, she's in one of the Reeves movies.
No, she's not in none of them.
Bro, I promise.
Unless they did a Superman 5.
Look it up. Yeah, she's in one of the movies.
Because the 1-4 was when he fought.
And then they made her own joint. Either that or Reeves is in her movie. Is Reeves in her movie?
Reeves is in her movie. I think he was in her movie. She wasn't in none of the Superman.
At some point, they were together in the movie. So I know she was. Well, one of them.
I know it ain't his. I know it.
Well, it says. Yeah, I know you know more about him than I do, but it says while Superman and Superman 2 are considered timeless classics to their two sequels, Superman 3 and Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, that's the one I'm talking about, are generally dismissed as forgettable and disappointing follow-ups. The one that she's in is the one where the bad guy's like some blonde dude with a black suit and a lightning bolt.
Yeah, that's the Nuclear Man.
Yeah, so
they called him in the movie. I forget what they called him, but I think, but I'm not sure. I think he's actually like a canon DC character too. Name wise.
Yeah, maybe. I thought they made him up and it was pretty corny because I had never seen him in any cartoons or anything like that. But when that movie came out, I was a little kid. I didn't know anything about comics. I knew only about the cartoons.
I mean, it had a lot of action in it, but it was just.
Maybe she was hinted at. I'm not seeing like images of her.
No, she wasn't in the movie. She was. Yeah, she did not show up in that movie at all.
She's in 2, or she's in 3 or 4, or Reeves is in her movie 1.
He's in her movie, I think, but I know she's not in his.
She's in 3 or 4. Maybe she's in 4. I don't know. See if she's in Superman 4: The Quest for Peace.
No. That's the one I was looking at. She's not.
Oh, okay.
No, she's not in. No, she ain't in 4. Bro, I can tell you that. I can confirm that 100%. Trust me that. Yeah.
Well, then I guess he's in hers. But it says Superman 3, unfortunately, is infamous for relying too heavily on comedy and losing the balance of its predecessors, providing some important lessons for Superman Legacy. I wonder, Superman 4, how they followed that up. I wonder, was 4 like supposed to be more serious?
4?
Yeah, The Quest for Peace.
I don't know what they're trying to do with 4, bro. I guess they were trying to rebound from 3. And
God.
Make it more, it's a lot of fight scenes in there with him and Superman fighting, but it's just no. It just ain't where it's at.
Based on Superman.
The other ones, she's not. I don't think he's in her movie, and she's not in any of his movies. I don't think they ever cross paths like that whole time.
That's crazy. That's crazy how your mind, like, in your memory.
I know that's probably like a Mandela effect type of thing. Like you
just hold on. Alexander Salkind and his son Elia, the producers of Superman series, plan to produce a 4th installment if Superman 3 grossed at least $40 million. The film received unexpectedly negative reaction, but it grossed $80 million. Reeve was also hesitant to return to the series as Superman, bowing out from a planned cameo appearance in Supergirl. The Salkinds announced plans for the 4th film regardless, but after the commercial failures of Supergirl and their next film, Santa Claus the Movie, caused the financial strain, they began to consider if the franchise had run its course. Okay. Well, so they had planned to put him in the movie, but didn't. But how would I know that as a kid? Oh no. But that's funny. But yeah, I guess so Superman 3 came out, then Supergirl came out, then Superman 4 came out. That's crazy. And she never made it in none of them.
Nah, I just finished looking. She was not in there one.
So it says it is the 5th film, including Superman 1984 Supergirl in the Superman film series and sequel to Superman 3. So it actually, it does come after Supergirl. So they count Supergirl as part 4, and they count this part 4 as the 5th movie in the series.
Movie. And I think we know why they did that. They did it later. I think they did it because Supergirl was just so lame that they just bagged it in with those movies that sell it and said if it does well, we can separate it from Superman. And if it does bad,
Yeah,
we'll just bag it in there somehow and make some money off it. That's what I think they did.
and it was the same universe, like some of the same actors. It's a lot of
they're
big,
in the same
big
universe, but
British.
don't interact.
Yeah, it's a British cast. It's like an all British cast.
Yeah.
Although it is canon with the Christopher Reeve Superman films, it is not included in any of the Superman DVD or Blu-ray box sets.
Damn.
It's
Oh
not.
man,
Good luck finding it.
I have the box set. I got the Superman box set. Matter of fact, hold on, I'll show it to you right now. And it's not in there. It's just Superman 1 through 4, I think it is. I got that box set. And I was mad that I bought it because I didn't want to watch Superman 3.
Wanted to avoid it as much as possible.
Are you serious? While seeking the Omegadron, she creates the cover identity Linda Lee, cousin of Clark Kent, and enrolls at the all-girls school where she befriends Lucy Lane, the younger sister of Lois Lane, who happens to be studying there. Wow. What serendipity. So cringe. Yeah. That's sad.
No.
Well, lesson number 2, Batman Returns defied expectations in the wrong way. Did it? In an effort to bring back Tim Burton and make the lightning strike in the same place twice in their Batman franchise, Warner Brothers offered Burton far more creative freedom in Batman Returns than he had in the 1989 film. Although Batman Returns has deservedly aged well among viewers, it caused significant controversy in 1992. While Batman 1989's had its fair share of violence, audiences were not prepared for the abundant innuendos and increased macabre qualities, resulting in an uproar from the parents of younger viewers. Plenty of recent DC films are as violent and explicit, if not more so, than Batman Returns, but the difference is that their mature content is expected. This strongly suggests the DCU needs to make its movie and show target demographics as explicitly clear as possible, especially given its first release as an adult cartoon. That could be misunderstood as child appropriate by those who consider the medium synonymous with being child friendly.
Well, that's a bigger problem than specifically DC. Like, I mean, people considering just anything animated to be childish, or child for children. That's just not personal, but that's a bigger issue that they need to solve. That doesn't necessarily connect specifically to DC. I mean, they can make it as explicit as possible. There are people that are still going to look at something that's animated and think it's for children somehow. So, yeah.
And even in regards to Superman Legacy and any of their live action stuff, I mean, doing, basically telling people what to expect can help you because like I said, even like we were talking about with the video games, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, huge, massive game, Breath of the Wild, like one of the biggest selling games of all time. And then the sequel comes out and people expecting one thing and being disappointed. If Nintendo had said, hey, listen, guys, we're going to give you more just Breath of the Wild. It's going to be the same thing. We're just going to add some shit to it, which I thought was pretty fucking clear, but apparently everyone didn't get that, and it ruined the It's going to hurt its sales because, so the point here being, if you let people know what to expect, then because sometimes it can be good, but if people weren't expecting it, it will be perceived poorly at first. And what they're talking about, like, happened with Batman Returns. You got, Penguin eating raw fucking fish heads and shit, and all of this, and Catwoman is like a corpse, and all the sexual stuff between the two, but people weren't expecting it. But when you go back and watch that movie now, I like it almost better than the first one sometimes. In some ways, it's definitely more comic-y. If you're looking for something comic booky, if you like that shit. I think Joel Schumacher took it way in the wrong direction, but that one was right there in the middle. It was very comic-y, but really like the comics. People forget comics are not kid friendly. They have violence, they have sex, they have graphic stuff, innuendos, and all of that. And so to make to make the movie have that just made it more authentic, in my opinion. But people weren't expecting it, and so now.
Strange. I don't know. Like maybe it was the marketing during that time because I feel like that movie was tonally the same as the first, just a little more like aggressive with some of the violence and everything. But I mean I feel like tonally it was the same. Like I don't know. Maybe it was the marketing at that time. Maybe it was they thought it was going to be something like fairly different. But if you just go from the first movie to this one, I don't know. I don't see much of a considerable difference, but that's
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know why people weren't expecting it. I guess what they weren't expecting was parents weren't expecting their kids to be sitting in the audience and the shit to come up on the screen. That comes up on the screen. They were like, "Oh shit!" That because everyone went to see that first movie was massive. Sada, you don't understand. It was Beatlemania. It was Batman mania. I mean, it was the biggest thing. It was the first blockbuster. I mean, it started the whole summer blockbuster thing. That shit was everything. So, the second one had a whole lot to live up to. But man, I remember hearing about like that they were gonna have Danny DeVito as Penguin and Jim Carrey as Riddler and all this shit way before the second one came out, and I thought it was bullshit. Like they were just, it was all these dream casting, and it was just like no fucking way they're gonna do that. Like it's just too much, and they did it. They really did that shit back then.
No. Jim Carrey was just in the wrong movie. He's just in the wrong.
Yeah. Honestly, I always was like, why didn't he play Joker? Why didn't they make a Jim Carrey Joker? That was weird, but
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, I mean he's got the whole face thing. I don't know, but Suicide Squad #1 proves the importance of substance over style. With the final cut of Suicide Squad 16, it definitely was style over substance.
Style was very hit or miss. Good golly.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was good style. It was just over stylized. Yeah, overly stylized. All movies, DC Universe or otherwise, need to prioritize substance over style, but perhaps one of the worst examples of failing to do so is 2016 Suicide Squad. The film attempts to replicate the success of the MCU's Guardians of the Galaxy by assembling teams of misfits, in this case a squad of supervillains, and creating a black comedy action romp with gratuitous needle drops. Unfortunately, in this attempt to mimic Guardians, Suicide Squad forgot to properly develop its characters and story, resulting in a film that failed to please critics and viewers, subsequently providing a focused look at what most alienates audiences. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want a proper Suicide Squad film, guys, watch Assault on Arkham or Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. I feel like, or I haven't seen the James Gunn one, so a lot of people like that one, so maybe that one too. But those two I've seen, and those are like proper Suicide Squad films. So yeah.
And those are both animated, right?
Yeah, those are both animated. So
hey, that's where DC
the James Gunn one as well.
DC really shines in animated. Their animated films are their best shit. But yeah, let me see. But yeah, Stu had to go fight crime, y'all. Sorry about that, Stu. Dog, peace, man, peace. But yeah, it's it's a lot of lessons to be learned. It's a lot of mistakes they made, a lot of shit they can learn from. That I hope they, and I think they are, like they have learned from, and they are, at least Gunn is consciously knows what they were doing wrong. Whether his ideas of what's right is going to be right or not, who knows? But at least they're doing something different. Because that's they had to do something different. But yeah, the you mentioned Pedro Pascal earlier. They're doing Gladiator 2 with Denzel Washington.
Oh
yeah, Gladiator 2 by Ridley Scott. This is my favorite director. He's did the original one. But yeah, the sequel has been rolling around the Oscar nominated director's head for over 2 decades, and is finally coming to fruition with an incredible cast so far. And the the movie scooper Daniel Richtman said we've got an idea of what kind of characters two of its biggest stars, Denzel Washington and Pedro Pascal, are bringing to life. Uh, yeah, so yeah, Pedro Pascal and Denzel. I think Denzel being in the movie is a good idea. Pedro Pascal, I'm not sure what.
He's just hot right now. He's just a
He's just
hot.
in everything. Yeah, they're just putting him in stuff for whatever reason.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's just hot right now. I mean, they tried to do the same thing with Tom Holland when he was hot as Spider-Man, and that didn't. I mean, that kind of it didn't necessarily pan out.
yeah.
So I don't. Hopefully, it doesn't happen with like Pedro as well, but we'll see.
Yeah. Did you see that Tom Holland show? Where he's like,
The Crowded Room.
yes.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. I heard it was not bad. Is it bad?
Ooh, Tom taking back shots and all that. It's crazy. But nah, it's crazy. But honestly though, I gotta give it up to him. Like his acting chops, like his fucking skills are insane. I had no idea.
Yes, he said he went through a lot, like doing that project. So I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he definitely went through some shit. Cause yeah, I didn't know he had it in him. I had no idea. But it made me a fan. I was like, okay, no, he's a serious actor. He's not just a blockbuster, hot guy for the month or whatever. No,
because I know like his projects after Spider-Man didn't hit for me, so that's why I was just kind of like, I don't know if that really panned out. So that's good that he did pretty well in that.
Might be the only thing of his I saw outside of his Spider-Man stuff. I didn't see the video game adaptation he did.
It was not good.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it.
Uncharted, no siree, no siree.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it. So yeah, I don't think I've seen anything else he did, but it's worth watching. If you want something real emotionally serious, like it's not.
I'll prepare myself for that.
Yeah, for real. It's out there. Man, David Ayer exited the Scarface reboot after Suicide Squad because studio wanted something more fun than his take on the drug trade. It wasn't too violent.
Oh no!
He wanted a fun take on the drug trade.
Dang, what's going on over there? Oh my God! Can't catch a break. So y'all are not going to screw me over in the middle of the production like last time. So gotta go.
But speaking of what you call it, GTA, we were talking about the other day. A lot of the scenes from it are clearly taken from like social media memes and like popular viral clips and shit like that. Like a lot of those scenes from the trailer that look so real because they're like ripped right from social media, and the game apparently has a very strong social media.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's based.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a social media based game. But this guy right here, is this real dude named Florida Joker. I don't know if you be on TikTok and shit, you probably know this guy. But he's on here complaining, saying that they took his likeness.
Uh-oh.
Said,
but I have seen that before. And I think I remember the trailer showing something similar to that, but not really. So
here he is.
Oh God. Oh.
You might have seen that character on GTA 6. Just dropped the trailer today.
You know they got that character with the face tattoos. You know who they got that inspired by me. Just look me up, Florida Joker, Miami Joker. You know what I'm talking about. GTA, we at the top.
Whoa.
Yeah. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
What's going on, y'all?
Yo, Raw Talk, what up?
Yeah, man. Out in front of my house, putting up Christmas lights all day, man.
Oh shit. Chevy Chase style.
Yeah, man. Definitely Chevy Chase style.
Hell yeah. Yeah, nah, we was talking about how Grand Theft Auto got the that guy with the face tattoos, Florida Joker, and he was saying that like he's saying that they took his likeness. He gonna I guess he's gonna sue him or some shit. I don't know. It's silly as fuck. Yeah. You're not gonna get nowhere, buddy. It's Rockstar. Come on. They got money.
And the tat's got to be right and exact. If it's
They're not even.
If it's not,
Yeah.
well, you know, because there's a lot of dudes that got the Joker face. There's somebody in Cali named Joker with a Joker face.
Right. Exactly. And but yeah, the GTA 6 trailer featured a character with distinctive face tattoos, strikingly resembling Lawrence Sullivan, also known as the Florida Joker, a tattoo model who gains widespread online attention following the viral spread of his mugshot in 2017. And this led to Sullivan's response, expressing his belief in the character was inspired by his own unique appearance. In a video first shared on TikTok, the Florida Joker addressed Rockstar directly, saying, GTA, we gotta talk. While it remains uncertain if Rockstar intentionally mimicked Sullivan's image, the reference has not, gone unnoticed throughout the subtle details of the GTA 6 trailer, sparking discussions among fans about the potential inspiration behind the character design and other clips from the trailer, like other scenes in that trailer. People are like, okay, so what's that from then? Because them shits are real. Like some of them, like the guy pulling the gator out of the pool. That's a news clip. Those shits are real news footage clips that they took. The guy with the dreads, the heavy set guy in the middle of the street.
Oh,
that's
the one
a real.
you were like, yeah, that's definitely real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with the wicks. It's a lot of scenes that you could tell that those are real.
Maybe they'll settle out of court because look what happened with Fortnite taking dance moves from different people.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got paid.
They got money for that?
Yeah.
Yep. And that's
nice.
Moves. I don't know how you trademark a dance move if everybody else is dancing the same type of dance. You never know.
Yeah.
Like you put yourself as like the dance creator, and then it kind of just goes from there. And you just have to be vigilant on protecting, whatever it is you create, because there have been creators within TikTok stealing dances. It happens with like the white creators will steal from black creators if they create dances and stuff. And in Fortnite's case, it was really bad because they would like sell them in shop and people would pay money for them. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Not surprised. It says whether Rockstar drew inspiration from Florida Joker or not, the incident adds a layer of intrigue to the unfolding narrative of GTA 6, which already surprised fans by featuring a big change in the franchise with the incorporation of Lucia, the first female lead character in GTA. While fans will have to wait longer to actually play GTA 6, they can keep an eye out for future Rockstar, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that shit crazy. That shit crazy. But yeah, that just reminded me of that because we're talking about the Scarface reboot.
Scarface reboot.
Something that I feel should never be done.
Oh man. Yeah, it's the end of the world, man. It's the end of the world. I'm accepted now.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
a perfect movie. You're gonna reboot for what?
This is the problem. This is my problem with reboots. No, I think reboots are a great thing, but I think they should be movies that sucked. You take a movie that had a great idea, a great concept, but the movie just was ass, and you reboot it and make it good. You don't take fucking masterpieces and reboot them and make them lesser, because it'll never reach the peak of that masterpiece. I know you don't think that it's gonna fucking create the same fucking buzz and the same fucking thing that the original created. You know that's not even possible. So why fucking go for it? Why don't you take movies that did not come out well, but had great fucking ideas? Like, I can name a million of them, dude.
I know why they're doing it though. Look at
Of course I know why.
Look at the
Name
climate.
recognition, money.
Oh, not even that. Look at the climate we're living in, and look at the climate of the 80s or or the late 70s, early 80s when this movie came out. They kind of mirror each other. You know, you had a lot of people migrating in from Cuba. You got a lot of people migrating in from South America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You had a little war tension going on. Same.
Oh, that's why they're rebooting this one, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I think, because it's the same type of feel, the politics around it and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so
but it's still a bad idea. Still a bad fucking idea.
Yeah. Like,
don't do it.
You're gonna have them sniffing cocaine all through the movie. You're gonna have them, you know, because
well, you saw. Did you see the fucking Superfly reboot?
Oh yeah, that shit was garbage.
Garbage, bro.
Garbage.
But but that's an example of a movie they should have rebooted. That's an example of a movie that it was a B movie. It never had any sort of, you know, mainstream appeal. But it had a good idea, and they could have made a good movie out of it, but they just failed in the execution. But that's a good movie to reboot.
Well, Superfly is a classic, in my opinion.
It is.
It's
a cult classic.
Yes,
I think they should reboot cult classics, not masterpieces. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, reboot cult classics. But some should be left alone. Like the Warriors, don't reboot the Warriors.
Well, they're gonna do that over.
But they are.
Yeah. But with the Superfly, it's like that whole era, that whole black
exploitation.
You can't recreate that. That was a whole vibe, a whole.
Oh yeah.
That was a generation. That was
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't really do that. That's like somebody right now doing Beat Street over.
Right.
Come on, you do it. You need to get slapped.
You can't do it. Well, you could do Beat Street over, but you'd have to do it in that same era. You couldn't do it with today's music.
Yeah, and that's the problem. They want to do it with today's stuff.
That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna reboot the movie, reboot it in its own fucking era, because you saw what they did with Superfly. That's what I'm saying. If they do that kind of bullshit with Scarface, well, first of all, there's no possible way that a reboot of Scarface is gonna be good or better or fucking in any way hold up to the original. I don't care how quote unquote good it is. You just don't fuck with a classic, not a masterpiece like that.
You can't redo the.
It's a genre changing. It's a game changing film.
You can't redo the whole imagery of Tony talking to Frank before he's getting ready to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Sitting in the automobile, spades. We call spades. We get the Diaz brothers. You can't go through that shit. You can't. You know what I mean?
It's not gonna give you the same feeling, man. It can't be. You can't get the same feeling from the original.
I boycott that shit. I just straight up boycott the premiere and everything. I'll be out there with signs. You fake fucks.
Word.
I hope this theater gets shot up. I'll go through it like that.
Man. Oh shit!
Hell yeah! Because I mean that's a classic. I love Scarface, man. That right there. I mean If it wasn't for Scarface, there would be no Grand Theft Auto,
right?
Vice City,
bro. It's so much
based off of Scarface.
You have no idea, bro. It's so much shit that's based off Scarface, man. People just don't know. I mean, a whole
would be Scarface.
Oh, a whole era, a whole culture of hip hop, a whole section of hip hop would not exist without Scarface.
And
Um, but yeah, it says Universal has long wanted to reboot Scarface, Brian De Palma's 1983 crime classic starring Al Pacino as a powerful mafia drug lord. Miami drug lord. Multiple directors have circled the reboot over the years, including Antoine Fuqua, Luca Guadagnino, and David Ayer. The latter director boarded Scarface the year after his Suicide Squad grossed $747 million worldwide, despite negative reviews. Ayer boarded the reboot in May 2017 as Fuqua's replacement, but come July 2017, he was already exiting. Some reports cited including conflict due to Ayer also working on his Netflix action movie Bright. But others claimed Ayer and Universal disagreed over his darker take on the material. So they disagreed on his darker take on Scarface? How the fuck you just... It's too dark? They said they wanted a more fun take. His was too violent. His take on the drug world was too violent for them. He said in an interview with Total Film Magazine, Ayer said that his script for Scarface reboot was not too violent, as some reports claimed in 2017. Although he did suggest that his take on the gangster was too dark for Universal's liking. The studio wanted a more fun and broad script than Ayer delivered.
Man, they all fucked up.
Fucked up. One of the best scripts I've ever written was my Scarface draft, Ayer said. It gets passed around in Hollywood underground. It's funny when people talk about the project. Is it the Ayer script? No, it's somebody else. Oh, okay. It was too violent. Violence, I can cover it, he continued. If someone gets shot, I can photograph it where the head explodes and I have a hard R, and it's not going to alienate people. That's easy. The filmmaker 101. I created this rich, soulful journey through the drug trade, and that's kind of what it is. The studio just wanted something more fun. Ayer said, Ayer has no hard feelings over Universal wanting a broader appeal Scarface movie, considering the gangster is the studio's biggest IP behind Jurassic Park. They want to capture as big a audience as possible, Ayer said. I fucking love Universal. Amazing people. I had this really honest conversation about the movie they wish they had and the movie that I wish to make. There's a lot of daylight between us. It's just easier to be like, let's park this. So basically, he's saying that he wants to make a more gritty, real, dark Scarface movie, which all fans of the movie would want. Universal wants to make a movie that new fans will be appealed to, and that can appeal to new audiences and have a new big fan base and build basically alienate and piss off every Scarface fan that's already a fan, just to try and get new fans. This is the facts. We are not the demographic target audience for films anymore. The demographic target audience is like 18 to 25. So that's who they're shooting for. That's who they're writing these movies for. So they have to find that medium. And, as a filmmaker, I would not be willing to compromise in that direction with a movie like Scarface. There's no way I'm going to put out a movie called Scarface based on fucking Scarface and have my name on it and it's fun. Yeah, no, I'm good.
All that Universal talk, man, all of it. I mean, even his script, I don't care how good of a script writer he is, and if it's passed on the underground, you just don't touch that fucking movie, man.
Right.
You just don't. You leave it the fuck alone.
Yeah, of course you can make it better.
When they talk about doing The Godfather over, rebooting that.
Come on.
I ain't with that. I'm not with classics being rebooted over. For what?
Hell no.
It's a classic for a reason. It's meant for you to go and watch it, analyze it, understand it. You're
supposed to not be able to really see the first scene of The Godfather. It should be dark. They would reboot these movies and everything would be bright and clear and 4K, HD and crispy and you could see everything. And that's not how that movie's meant to be seen. So that's why they fuck up these reboots. It's like some of these classic movies, they're filmed in a way that, or they're filmed with film for one thing. Everything's filmed digitally now, and everything has to be 8K, 4K, fucking super HD, and so they don't want to put any filters on it. And that's bullshit, and
And
it
I can
ruins.
understand if it was a sci-fi thing. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
even though there's certain
There's-
sci-fi movies that shouldn't be touched either.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Star Wars is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But you had them reboot or redo Dune.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I like the original Dune. It was super stellar all-star cast.
Yeah. It
A
was
lot
super weird.
a lot of OGs in the sci-fi across the board in that movie.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
chose to redo it. And I mean, it looks good. It's great adventure, but it
Yeah.
never give me that feeling when I first watched Dune in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole
Right.
you can't touch that feeling. You know what I mean? And they
Right.
try to do that with a new audience, which these young people, they're on a different movement. Their whole idea is different. The way they move is different. So
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to push an old story to a new audience in their realm. It won't work.
It won't work.
Politics is different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
mean that's
it's
the but that's the thing. They're not making movies for our demographic no more.
yeah, I know.
They
But
make movies for that target audience, that 18 to 25 audience, and that's
so
that
so
social justice warrior.
instead of Scarface pushing cocaine, what he's doing meth. He's selling
Meth
meth. He's selling
or
Molly pills,
Molly,
all that
whatever they
stuff,
fucking with now. Yeah,
amphetamines. What that's what he's doing? That's whack.
it's whack. You would have to make that movie take place in the 70s or fuck out of here. Early 80s.
Yeah,
Early
and
80s.
but if you're doing that type of movie, that demographic is gone now. That young different demographic you're
But
looking for.
the thing is, this new generation, this Gen Z generation, they love 80s shit, 80s nostalgia,
Yeah.
like 80s style shit. 80s stuff is coming back. It's just how like when we was kids, I remember 60s and bell bottoms and shit was coming back. You remember girls was wearing bell bottoms and shit all in the 90s. It's the same thing. That's the way they see the 80s. So I 80s films. There's a lot of 80s movies, 80s TV shows, stuff that takes place in the 80s that's popular.
Yeah, it's popular, but it comes from a genuine point of view. It's not a reboot. It's a genuine start. Like
Oh
a
yeah,
story
there's
about
yeah.
a story about a family from the 60s and 70s, and you go through that with them instead
Yeah.
of rebooting. Like if they reboot Good Times,
Right.
as people, I'll go on the set of that new Good Times and start smacking every fucking body. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah. Some
Like,
shit should be left alone.
yeah. So that's the end all be all. Leave classics alone. Like you said, reboot the whack shit.
Mm-hmm.
Make it better.
Yeah, because there's a lot of movies that had great ideas, but they just didn't have budgets, or they just, they had a bad director, or maybe the acting sucked, but it was a really good idea, and those movies need to be rebooted. Like it's a lot of those, and we want to see that.
Yeah. Imagine
But
they reboot Boys in the Hood.
I mean,
Oh boy.
I don't want to see that though.
Nah. There's so many classics, man. Yeah, and that's what it is. They lost creative ideas. They're at a loss. They don't know. They have so many IPs in their mind. Oh, we're gonna lose the rights to these IPs if we don't produce something with this IP.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
and that's mainly why they do it. They reboot. Oh, we're gonna reboot it or we lose it. Reboot or lose. Reboot it or lose it, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So even if we make a crappy fucking movie, we still own the rights to it. We can redeem ourselves at least a little bit later on after.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's how they think.
Yeah.
Not understanding that Sometimes you gotta take a loss to understand it, man. You gotta let the creativity be. I don't know, man. They reboot Gone with the Wind. Fuck it. Reboot. These are classic staples. I mean, like Wizard of Oz, they done over, of course.
Yeah.
But it's fantasy.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
based on true
That's
reality. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know. We're living in special times. Special times, man.
Yeah, real special. Yeah. Yeah. Special like fucking
Just
fucking
special ed, special whatever.
special education. Yeah, this place really.
But I mean, there are gems that stick out, and then there are some that is you just can't shine it up. It's just shit. You can't shine it.
You can't polish a turd.
Exactly. I mean, I wish Marvel would just shut everything down and let's concentrate on the Incredible Hulk. This is the real movie everybody's been waiting for anyway. We want a real bona fide Incredible Hulk, the savage type of Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get old boy to be Dr. Banner, any one of them, get a new guy. Get a new guy out the blue. No one knows who can really act as David Banner. Give us that frail David Banner, smart but frail, and have him have inner problems dealing with the Incredible Hulk, their battle within the Savage Hulk, just going crazy amok. You know what I mean? And have the Avengers try to stop him. That's the whole movie. The Hulk is going wild. This is the first start. This is how we meet the Hulk. If you're gonna reboot, do it like that. Make him savage. Make him go crazy. Unstoppable. Make one of the Avengers stop. Maybe you have Cap try to stop him, even though he got flattened by the Hulk. You know what I'm saying? He got his ass bust. Well, everybody gets their ass bust by the Hulk.
Yo, that's crazy. We was just talking about this.
It would be an epic event. I mean, honestly, that should have been the second Avengers movie, in my opinion. But they messed that up. So,
and that would be the first thing. Stop the Hulk, just because this guy is he's just too much.
that would be perfect.
That's my favorite Marvel character ever. Period.
What, Hulk or Sentry?
Oh, Incredible Hulk, man. The Hulk.
Yeah, same thing with Sada's uncle.
Incredible Hulk. Love the Hulk. DC, it's Batman. I got the comic.
For me, it's Wolverine and Batman. It's Wolverine and Batman for me.
Yeah, I got the Treasury comic with Incredible Hulk battles Batman, framed and everything. That's classic. Two of my favorites on one comic. What? Come on.
Well, they said Snyder's reasoning for delivering a darker take on Superman was the desire to avoid making him a piece of pure propaganda and irreproachable in every way. By most metrics, Sentry is Marvel's answer to Superman. While there are many Superman-adjacent MCU superheroes like Captain Marvel or Adam Warlock, Sentry is by far the most godlike of them all. Yet what Superman lacks in shortfalls, Sentry makes up for in spades, thanks in all no small part to his world-ending alter ego he harbors inside of him, applicably dubbed the Void. Rumors suggest that Sentry will make his MCU debut in Thunderbolts, which will put the comparatively underpowered team of antiheroes through their paces, to say the least. Yet the nuances surrounding the pre-established notions of good and evil are baked into the narrative from the jump. It didn't take long for the DCEU to get stuck into the what if Superman was the enemy question with the arrival of Batman v Superman. But with one movie under his belt, it felt somewhat hasty. With Sentry, the implications of having a nigh omnipotent being running rampant on Earth and beyond is already central pillar of his character. Stephen Yen is believed to be playing Sentry in Thunderbolts, but Marvel has yet to officially confirm this. Oh, it's happening. Sentry can explore an old... So, remember we were just talking about this guy, Sada?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're gonna
And
try and maybe do something with him? Oh, brother.
well, I don't know if they're comparing him to this because they're comparing Sentry to Superman, and this guy kind of looks like Sentry, and he's from Superman, part 4, but 3 or 4. The prospect of someone or something as powerful as Superman simply existing in Earth's atmosphere isn't as unprecedented as it may appear. Unprecedented. Superman's ability to level a city on a whim is what spurns Batman to shore up countermeasures in Batman v Superman to a somewhat surprising degree of success, but it's also something that humanity has emulated in the real world, namely in their response to the threat of nuclear weapons. Superman being an allegory for nuclear threats is an old idea and has been explored through the likes of Superman 4, Quest for Peace, and its debut of the hammy supervillain and Superman clone, Nuclear Man. That's this guy here.
Yeah, Nuclear Man.
Nuclear Man. This is why Superman's inherent virtue is so important, and his power levels must be counterbalanced by the assurances that he would never use them against humanity. Sentry, however, has no such assurances and is instead a ticking time bomb that threatens humanity wherever the void is prompted to emerge, which is always a big concern. The void is no joke, y'all. Look up the void. Really cool alter ego of Sentry. While and just like beyond overpowered. While the DCU is projected to depict a more traditional iteration of Superman and other DC heroes, it isn't a foregone conclusion that the latest take on the Man of Steel will be the paragon of virtue and largely eluded Cavill's rendition. DCU CEO James Gunn has already spoken about focusing on the human element of Superman's character, bringing his relationship with Lois Lane to the fore while exploring the nuances that come with it. With that in mind, it's hard to see exactly how the new Superman will embody the infallible alien being that Snyder was also attempting to bypass in his version of the character.
He just won't. Hello? He just won't. That's okay. They're different for a reason.
Right.
12 movies of Bad Bites. Introducing high stakes is important to make his new take on Superman as compelling as possible. Sentry constantly balancing on the precipice of disaster is still something that the DCU's Superman can emulate. For instance, Clark and Lois' relationship taking center stage sets up a pretty consequential question to be answered if a villain decides to put Lois in danger or use her as a bargaining tool. Whatever the case, there's plenty of scope for the DCU to introduce Superman that isn't as dark as Snyder's, but is no less complex. I mean,
this article was just like a roundabout way of them wanting this new Superman to somehow be like Sentry, even though it doesn't really make sense to me. But
this is just wishful thinking. Like, this article is just like, what they wish would happen, or hopefully
they already tried to have a darker Superman, and they bum rushed it, and they killed him off in his second appearance. So it's like, it just, I mean, I guess they could do it again, but it's just gonna take a little time for that, because we don't want to see that again after we just came off of that. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly right. What are they talking about? The Batman 2. Ooh, yeah, the Batman 2. I am ready for you. The Batman already set up the perfect villain to complete Pattinson's Dark Knight arc. One possible showdown for the Batman 3, Batman's ultimate test against Lockup, a battle that could forever change Gotham's fate. Every DC character who could return in the Batman 2 cast. Pattinson's Batsuit gets an upgrade to fight Mr. Freeze in the Batman 2 art. Batman comes face to face with a horrifying new villain in the Batman 2 fan poster. Batman 2 script update and new report. Matt Reeves expected to resume soon. Overlooked new DC series perfectly fills the Batman 2 void. Blah, blah, blah. Timothy Chalamet as Damian Wayne. Or is that what we're doing now? Timothy Chalamet as Robin?
He's too tall. If they're gonna push
he's
for
too old again. Like,
isn't he? Yeah, he's definitely too old for sure. But like, I immediately went to the height. Like, he's just too tall. Like, can we get like a short little boy? Like, I don't know. What's going on?
Definitely, definitely does not. I mean, I get maybe his face working for Damian Wayne, sure, but yeah, he's too tall and too old at this point. If they're trying to go for a young, because the thing is they're trying to go for a young boy Robin.
Yeah.
They want to get away from the I forget what his name is, but yeah, the guy that played Robin in the
Chris O'Donnell.
O'Donnell.
Yeah.
The 20-something Robin. Yeah, the 20-something. They want to go back to the boy wonder. Robin finally gets a gritty redesign in that's fan art. Who knows? It's not real. I don't care. Batman face to face with horrifying new villain. Fan poster. Every character who could return in the cast. Well, we don't. I don't. I know who's going to return. I want to know who's new.
Freeze and or
yes.
Clayface. That's all.
Clayface and Freeze, definitely. What?
Oh, ha! Oh my
you
God.
could not.
You're blocked off. No.
Seriously? Are you kidding me?
Forget you, screen.
As much as oh God. You know what? What?
Yeah, they do that now.
Everybody wants you to have an account. Everybody wants you to.
Like what? For why?
Nothing's free anymore.
For these empty articles at that, like,
right?
Only because I'm like halfway through in like the midst of it here.
And then they'll just reiterate it in their YouTube videos anyways. So it's like, okay, I definitely don't need to do that.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't
the
know
articles are good. The articles are good to me just because like I can read them during a live show. I can't like share a video during a live show really as well, or like go through it as meticulously as I can, with the article up there. But yeah, I just gave them my email address. That's all they want. They want your email address so they can fucking send you shit and sell it to companies that buy your info. But yeah, Pattinson Batsuit gets an upgrade to fight Mr. Freeze in the Batman 2 art. So if that's official Batman 2 art, that is confirmation that he'll be fighting Freeze. Batman 2 might feature Freeze as the main villain according to fan art. Fuck out of here. According to fan art, that doesn't mean anything. I get that it looks cool, but come on, we want facts. But sometimes when there's no facts, they got to make up shit.
Indeed.
Let's see. Batman set up the perfect villain to complete Pattinson's dark arc. Trilogy, potential for the villain, Pattinson, concept, vigilante justice. Lyle Bolton, also known as Lockup, is an obscure villain whose journey parallels Batman's own. Does anybody know who Lockup is? Lyle Bolton, you heard of him?
I feel like I've heard that name before, but I have absolutely zero idea who that is.
Well, there he is, Lyle Bolton.
Oh, he's in the animated series.
Yeah. Better known as Lockup, is a DC villain. Okay. Villain and enemy of Batman, first appearing in Batman the Animated Series. He would later adapted into the mainstream comics. Oh. So he's from the okay. So Batman the Animated Series did create some characters that later moved into comics. And this is one of them. Unlike many of Batman's villains, Lockup started as a vigilante who employed methods that were extreme, even by Gotham's gritty standards. He would ultimately degenerate into a full villain by the end of his arc. Yeah, so he starts out like a Batman villain, vigilante that goes too far and keeps going too far and just basically becomes a straight up villain in the eyes of Batman. Says he was a security guard employed by Bruce Wayne and given the chance to watch over inmates of Arkham Asylum due to his great skill in security work. Unfortunately, Bolton abused his position to torture the inmates so brutally that even Scarecrow, the master of fear himself, was rendered terrified of him and broke out of Arkham simply to get away from this fucker. Yeah, upon seeing Scarecrow's fear as well as becoming suspicious himself of Bolton's behavior, Bruce decided to hold a hearing on Bolton, which had several Arkham inmates testify against him, including Harley Quinn, the ventriloquist, and Scarecrow. At first, inmates were intimidated by Bolton's presence and would not testify against him. Wow. So yeah, this fucker was serious. Um, he could be a very interesting character for the Batman universe because he's just a guy who's like a vigilante who like became, so he could easily fit in the universe. He's not, some supernatural creature or some, crazy, you know, technological guy or whatever. Very much fits in that down to earth, realistic Seven detective type universe that the Batman is. So I can see that. I can see Lyle Bolton as the main villain or as one of them. Batman 2 should continue those ideas of these
There's
realistic.
a lot to do with the fallout from the first movie. So I mean, I'm interested to see where they would go. I think it would be interesting if they went that route. I mean, he's pretty unknown. Well, not like, well, yeah, I guess he's pretty unknown since he was created from the show.
Yeah.
But this could be a way to propel him more so into the books and everything like that. So if he's not already there.
No, they said he did. He went into the comics like shortly after. Yeah, the cartoon is where he was created, and then went right into the books. So he's in the comics already since the 90s, but he's still pretty obscure. Unless you were probably like obsessed over the show or something, you probably didn't know who he is. And he's probably in like only an episode or 2 or 3. It doesn't sound like a whole season arc or anything type character, for the animated series. Something they would have done. That show was episodic, It did. The episodes connected.
BDBGP, what up?
Yo, how you live?
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all, that was that's how we doing Saturday DC Power Hour. We just chilling, we just kicking it right now. We just kicking back, talking shit. At this point, we talked about Kurt Russell becoming or portraying Jor-El, taking over Marlon Brando's role. We talked about Eddie Gathegi getting jacked up to play Mr. Terrific, and those actors really, really beefing up for those roles. Defying expectations for the DC characters to look more like their comic book counterparts, which I think is mad cool. We talked about Kyle Rayner, the DC Green Lantern God character, who has now got a redesign in the comics. We talked about the casting of James Gunn's brother playing Maxwell Lord, Sean Gunn, in it's going down. Nepotism at its finest. We talked about Joker. We talked about what do you call it? GTA. Yeah, man, y'all run it back. We talked about Suicide Squad, the video game, getting ready to come out. It's they're fixing some things. So yeah, man, if y'all came in late, run it back. The video is a good episode, and we'll be back again Monday, y'all. So y'all know every Saturday and every Monday at 7 p.m. you can find us here chopping it up. But I'm getting ready to go play some Baldur's Gate 3, y'all. So yes, sir. Y'all have a good weekend, man. Be safe. And I will see y'all. See y'all Monday. Peace.
Peace.